Namaskar. I, Dr. Seema, welcome you to this episode of MANOVAAC. It's season 3, and this is going to be the fourth episode of season 3.
Hello, I am Chanchal, and today we are going to ask few questions to Guruji.
It will be regarding teenage issues, parenting, and related topics. So, here is first question, Guruji. How do homosexual feelings or attractions develop in teens and young adults? Is there a spiritual reason for attraction to the same gender? Like, is it karmic? It's their choice, or sometimes uh, fancy or exposure?
Uh, yeah, this is it's a slightly tricky question, tricky topic. Uh, I don't think there is one solid, uh, indisputable reason because of which homosexual feelings develop in a certain person. Uh, Sometimes there are a combination of factors. To my mind, most likely are childhood experiences. That is one of the biggest factors which contributes towards uh, uh, having sexual feeling for the same gender. It could be abuse or it may not be abuse, but certain experiences during the first, say, 10, 12, 15 years of a child's life would heavily weigh in the choice that they make for their future life, as far as their
Sexual
preference for
preferences.
sexual preference is concerned. Now, whether there is something karmic involved or whether it is there is a spiritual connotation, I don't uh, really think there is anything heavily karmic about this, because uh, it is basically taking an experience with a different type of experience.
True.
I mean, yes, normally we consider sexual relations between a man and a woman, which is considered normal. This is a little off the normal, but it is still an experience. So, if your mind is set that way, and if you have that kind of a view that you can enjoy with the same sex, it's just taking that kind of experience. Sometimes there could be karmic implications if you have to work out certain karma with certain individuals. It could be. It could lead you to that.
Or completion of certain
Completion of
relationships.
certain relationships. It could work in that way, because obviously, suppose there are two gay people getting married, they have to complete certain things. It's not going to be a honeymoon forever. So
Absolutely.
there are going to be disputes. There's going to be pain, suffering,
Like
everything,
any other
like
relationship.
any other relationship. So yes, you are completing relationship with a certain soul. End of the day. So that, in that sense, yes, there could be certain karmic implications. But are you incurring karma? No,
No.
definitely not. I mean, there is absolutely no relation between homosexuality and incurring karma. Although all these religious institutions insist it's against God, it is not
Yes.
against God. It's just a different experience. But there's only one thing that I strongly feel, which I don't know whether it will bear out as a fact or not, but it's a very strong feeling I have, that a soul which takes, see, we take birth as men and women. Sometimes we take alternate births, as male and female. There are a lot of times when a certain soul takes a numerous male births or numerous female births, without switching the gender. In such a case, when after many births as, say, a male, they suddenly that soul takes a female birth. They will have very strong male qualities and very strong male attractions,
Okay.
because that's what the soul is the same. The feelings are in seed form, which when you come into the physical world, they become they blossom out.
Blossom out.
So when a soul takes many births as one gender only, for whatever reason, that we are not to question that, and then changes the gender, they could still have that lingering attraction for the same
Same
gender,
gender.
you know.
Naturally,
No,
quite
yeah.
understandable.
No, this is
So,
this is my
you're,
theory, and
apart
my
from the initial
uh,
stages, experiences,
yeah,
which can change their liking or no,
the preference. Yeah,
preferences.
yeah,
What about transgender, Guruji? I sometimes
yeah,
feel it's a very karmic thing because
yeah.
you are
Transgender is karmic.
given
Transgender.
completely opposite body and you
Trans
like literally struggle.
Transgender is a lot of karma, because you're born that way, and
It's like a
you have
conflict,
one kind of a body and another kind
another
of a
kind of
soul.
a soul.
It's like that. So yes, but that is heavily karmic, and it's something you have to work out. Maybe you have to learn certain very important lessons.
Okay.
Maybe you have inflicted pain on a certain gender in many incarnations. So you have to learn what it is to be like between two, and work out certain. But there are definitely karmas involved. Yeah,
At least now, no,
yeah,
you can change your sex and somewhere at some level
yeah,
you like no
yeah.
you
Now, yeah, you have sex
adjust,
change
yeah.
operations,
But
but
does it really change or it just that
But it makes you
you
feel
make
better. It
become
makes you, yeah,
comfortable
you
now?
become a little more comfortable with what you have then. But I don't know whether it really gives you a satisfying life. Now, that I don't know. How physically it would be, because not all of them are successful. Not all of them are
Can
able to maintain that, that body,
body.
the change. So there
It
are
does have a
complications later
karmic
on. Yeah,
completion
yeah. So there are a lot
written
of
somewhere.
completions in that. So transgender is a little different, a different issue. Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji. Now we come to the next question. What is the biggest truth one can know about parenting? And please share the art of unconditionally loving your child and still be detached. This question comes from Nazneen Patrawala.
Okay. Uh, the biggest gift you can give your child, I would say, in terms of parenting, is to teach your child responsibility and how to be a responsible adult. And that starts from a very young age. The the fact that today we that is one of the last things parents teach, and more
Absolutely.
importantly because of the prosperity levels that many parents have achieved, and the wealth they have, and the this thing they provide, the facilities they provide for their children. It's made their children less and less responsible and less appreciative of what they have. So, the first thing that you teach your child is to be responsible in each and every way possible. Responsible firstly for the actions. This is the most important thing you can teach your child, is you are going to be responsible for what you do and what you say. And here you cannot bail them out. The moment you bail your children out, you're spoiling them. Because they know, okay, we can do anything and get away with it. This feeling should not be inculcated in children. Let them face trouble, let them face problems, let them face punishment once, twice, three times. Fourth time, they will not do it.
And that is exactly we can't do it for some or other reason.
Because of our so-called love for our children, or because we think we love our children, we don't impose this kind of responsibility onto them, but that makes them bad adults, or it makes them not, I would say bad is not the right word, But it does
Careless or
not
irresponsible.
it does not train them up for life,
Life.
Yeah.
True.
and to
True.
face life
Life.
in challenging circumstances.
Hmm.
So you are not doing them a favor by bailing them out when they are small children. Teach them responsibility. No, you have to be responsible. And you have to face the consequences of what you do and what you say.
Another
This is the biggest gift, and this is the biggest education you can give your child.
another thing I think we still don't know what love is exactly, Guruji. Our love is shown by like na taking every burden of that person on you, like na spoiling them without knowing. We feel ki if I love my daughter, she should not be working in my house. If I love my son,
Yeah, I
he
know.
should be like na sitting on the couch and or doing
Nothing.
whatever he likes,
Just
but
enjoying himself.
just enjoying
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Indulgence
Indulgence.
in
Yeah.
another
And
form,
that we
yeah.
call ki we have been now
Love,
perfect, yeah, or
yes.
Yeah.
na,
So
doing
this
our
is
best as parents.
Right.
yeah. This is where you have to, I guess, mature as or evolve as a parent also.
Parent.
But then that depends on how you are, and how, what are your priorities as a parent firstly.
Our priorities are
To
set
give
when
it
we were
that
kids, na? What we didn't get,
exactly.
Yes.
now we want to give
Give
everything,
and
or
but
vice
that
versa.
is
No, and
where
there
very
is
dangerous
also
ground to walk on.
Yes.
there is also social pressure, Guruji. When you try to do this, try to make them responsible.
Your relatives and
Your
all.
relatives will be you are too
No,
hard on them.
no,
They are just
you
kids.
have to put your foot down,
You
and
you have to defend
because
that separately and then handle
you
this.
have, yeah, you can handle that separately, but basically it is your duty to bring up your kids,
Yeah, because
not
this
your
is also
relatives.
not easy. Like seeing your child suffer is not easy,
Easy,
but
not
knowing
easy.
that you have to teach them a lesson, it is still fine.
Yeah.
So this is one part of it. Second part is where you have to handle the relatives who are sitting on your head saying that
And
you're being too
especially
hard.
if you are living in a joint
Joint
family,
family.
Guruji, there are camps.
I'm
Like
sure.
Yes.
I'm
kids
sure.
are used
Yeah.
to
Yes.
pitch against each
Not only
other,
that,
and
kids use it.
kids also use
Yes.
it.
Because
Yes.
you say no, they will say yes, and they know how to get away with it.
Yeah.
Kids will learn.
So this
Yeah.
is where you have to have that maturity and the
Maturity.
authority to do the right
Yeah,
thing.
and
And
everybody in the family should be on
Same
same page
page.
when it
Yes.
comes
now
to
that is
inculcating
sometimes
certain.
difficult, but at
Yeah,
least the parents, the father and the mother should
mother
be on the
should
same
be on the
page.
Right.
same
Now the
page.
rest
Yeah,
may not be, because you can't have everyone on the same page, but at
and
least the father and the mother have to be on
and
the
the
same page.
grandparents were very good in parenting. They're very
Parenting.
strict,
Yes.
and they just no.
But
Spoil. Pamper their grandkids.
as
I
they
think
say,
that
ghar
is.
ghar ki kahani,
Uh,
a story of every household.
Yeah.
But basically you are responsible for your children, not not the grandparents,
if
not the
this
relatives, nobody
yeah, if
else.
this was less, Guruji, social pressure, because you have certain social status now. So I have seen that also adds up
Yeah,
to
that
like
does.
if like
No,
somebody's
kids start
birthday is
rebelling that
yeah,
he
yeah.
got my friend got this, I don't have this. Why should I not
Yeah,
have
or
it? And there's a
birthdays, how the
rebel that
birthdays are celebrated now, now it
yes,
becomes like
a big
Yeah, but then that
conflict.
depends on your parenting and the conditioning and the environment you give your children, and you bring them up.
and how like no, sometimes I think a life is less to like no, become a good
See,
parent.
you need to handle this in the first 10, 12 years. If you
Yes.
handle them well in the first 12 years of their lives, they will grow up to be very good adults,
I
I
think
feel.
the challenge today is to keep children grounded
Yeah, absolutely.
and know reality beyond their house, Guruji.
Yeah.
So, what tips you can give, like how to keep them grounded and like sometimes, no,
It depends on house to house. I mean, case to case, because children are also different. You know, some children are rebellious, some children are very
it's
meek
not
and
that one
docile.
solution.
It's not a one solution, one tip that I can say, okay, this applies to everyone equally. You can't do that way. But end of the day,
Making them responsible.
you have to uh, 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 bring up your children without this mad attachment to them. This insane, irrational attachment. Because they are only with you for one lifetime. You're just a trustee of that soul. You don't own that soul.
True.
Okay, God hasn't sold that soul to you. You're just a trustee. So you can love that child, you can provide for that child, but you don't have to be so attached to spoil the child. Let's put it that way.
This is a constant reminder which needs to be we need to take. Yeah.
Okay, and I think this is little contradicting.
Hmm.
If you are unconditional in loving, I think you are already detached.
Obviously,
Huh,
only then you can be
so yeah.
unconditional.
Yeah.
So no, basically you love your child, but don't think you've bought that child from God. Okay, you're just a trustee, and you have to look after it like a trustee.
And I think best form of love is how responsible you make them, and
Exactly,
how
that's the real love.
yeah, that's the real love. And how you keep them grounded and
True,
balanced and
true.
make them life ready. I think that is the best
That's the best gift you can
form
give
of
them.
love, rather than spoiling them and giving everything that they want on
No, no, no.
platter,
That is
because that is
nonsense.
how love is
Nowadays
nowadays
expressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
expressed.
yeah.
Thank you, Guruji. I think Chanchal
So,
has few
yes, on
questions.
children only, Guruji. So, parenting. How to deal with children who are born around 2019 and
Mm-hmm.
are known as COVID children.
Mm-hmm.
Since their social exposure has been very limited, a lot of the children are not finding it easy to mingle and accept people outside of familiar faces. Even today, as the threat is still somewhat around, a lot of parents, especially in cities like Mumbai, are
Mm-hmm.
not comfortable in letting their children play with other children in society. So,
Yeah,
what will be your advice to parents and close relatives of these children to ensure best possible overall growth of these children?
yeah.
This question has come from Meha
Okay,
Saxena.
okay. Yeah, this children born after COVID came into the
Right.
picture. Uh, yeah, it's going to be a phenomena for 3 or 4 years. Okay, so 2020 COVID came in, maybe 22, 23 latest, this phenomena will remain with us. After that, it will disappear. Now, the children born in this period will obviously have some disadvantages in the sense of interaction with other children, because they will be restricted from going to school, from playing with their
Peers.
peers, or just general going out and interacting with people.
Right.
But kids are very, very adaptive. Okay, and especially in this age of between, say, from when they are born to about 7 to 10 years, they can adapt to change very fast and very quickly, unlike what people think, that oh my god, how will children deal with it. They deal with it very well, and especially children born after 2000, they are very strong, very differently wired, so they can deal with it.
Can come out of it
They
very
can come out of
quickly.
it.
And I think
So
during COVID also other children
yeah,
who are toddlers or even bigger have coped up with
coped up
COVID
with it
much
very well.
better than
Very
So,
adults.
so it may be a temporary phenomena where they might feel this seclusion, and they might behave a little differently because they're isolated. But the moment this corrects itself and they are exposed to the world, they will adapt very
They
quickly.
will regain their
Yeah,
social
They
yeah.
will regain their
skills.
social sense
Absolutely.
of
And kids are
adaptability.
that way very like na very adaptive.
Yeah, they're very adaptive. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we have this last question, which is uh, Guruji from Meha only.
Mm-hmm.
This is on women actually,
Yeah, okay,
not related to parenting
okay,
as such,
okay.
but on women. Today, though there are many women who go out and earn a living for themselves and their families,
Mm-hmm.
there are still a very small percentage of women who reach higher levels, top management level in their work.
Mm-hmm.
And a handful that do mostly are pushed to behave and act more like a man to be an achiever. Being aggressive, cutthroat, and rude are considered must haves to be at the top. Is it possible to be in a leading position and still have womanly qualities like empathy and nurturing nature at the forefront of one's personality?
Yeah, interesting. Uh, yeah, yeah. The problem is that today corporate life has become extremely cutthroat. Okay, and there are various challenges. So uh, the more this situation gets acute, you would require a similar kind of behavior to cope up with that. So yes, you need that aggression, you need that kind of cutthroat uh, uh, uh,
Ruthlessness.
attitude, ruthlessness, uh, probably abusive and whatever it is. I mean, now this comes very easily to men. So what happens is they they naturally adapt to the situation better, and therefore they are seen to be better qualified for such situations
Or roles.
or roles.
Roles, yeah.
Whereas a woman would even naturally and I would say socially not be that aggressive, though they can be in a personal relationship, they can be very aggressive. But in a wider sense, they would not want to be seen as so aggressive, or they may not be able to be so aggressive. But that doesn't mean that a woman cannot cope in a man's world. I mean, end of the day, quality will always show. Your intelligence, your capability, your ability to produce results will show. And women have reached the top. It's not that they
Right.
haven't.
Right now, to
Yes, the
There are
proportion,
many.
yeah.
many.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of women
Though we
CEOs
don't know how
nowadays.
they have reached there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
They have.
they
they
have.
adapted
Yeah.
to that. They
They've
adapted.
adapted.
So I guess slowly women will adapt to that situation, and they will adapt to it. And if you can produce results, I think nobody can deny you a position that you deserve. You know, so you don't have to sacrifice your sense of empathy or your sense of
Nurturing.
nurturing, and you don't have to stop being a woman also just to reach the top. And if you're good at your work, I think that itself should give you a lot of satisfaction, and it will take you as far as you can go. I mean, everyone cannot become a CEO now. Every male who works in the
Right.
office doesn't become a CEO. It's
Right.
not like that. So it takes you as far as you can go. As long as you can give quality, you will get what you deserve. But no, you don't have to become some kind of aggressive mongrel to
just
succeed.
just having these qualities may not, I think,
Not
Take you
all,
to
assure,
the
not
top.
always work.
assure you success. Yeah.
No,
Because there
it's
are
not
men
sure.
also who are aggressive, but they don't go to
They
the
don't
top
always go
because,
to the top.
yes.
No, they don't.
So you need other
So
skills
you
which
need
are not.
other skills, but since a little aggression is also part of the package, men are more prone to it, and they're more
It helps in
naturally,
controlling, na,
Yeah.
yeah,
controlling
in controlling
subordinates. Yeah.
subordinates and that. So
And
yeah,
as
I
such,
guess so.
I think women in offices are seen as weaker. That, because of that perception, probably the conditioning
Possibly,
that everyone has,
possibly.
women as are seen as weaker. So it takes a
Yeah.
lot for a woman to prove
To
herself.
prove herself, yes,
So
I definitely think she is at a bit of a disadvantage in that
yes, but
situation.
then you don't have to change yourself
But you don't have to change
drastically.
yourself. Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have to become some kind of a hard-hearted monster to succeed. You can remain,
You can remain very much a
yeah,
woman,
very much
and
a
with
woman
quality you can,
with those qualities of empathy and nurturing.
and maybe about
Rather
time,
use the strengths of being a woman
woman. Yeah.
You
sometimes,
can use
because
that as a
being a
strength.
nurturer is also a strength to
Of
build
course,
your
of
team
course, of
and
course. Yes,
other
of course.
things. So
It just depends how. As I said, end of the day,
Quality.
you give quality, you will get what you deserve. You have to produce quality.
right. Thank you, Guruji.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Fine.
Thank you so much for joining. See you next time.